with Vasudha and me. Namaskaram, Namaskara, Baunnara, Nalla Irkingla, Vasudha.
Vanakkam Veera and namaskars to all our viewers. Special focus this evening on the Indian nurse in Yemen who is on the death row, and also our newsmaker this evening, Nara Lokesh from Andhra Pradesh, will be joining us live.
We'll also have special focus on the India bloc versus Election Commission over the SIR face-off in Bihar. But first, the headlines. We're tracking this up. NDTV's non-stop coverage of the brutal behavior unleashed by a Shinde Sena MLA pushes the Maharashtra Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister to act. Both condemn the behavior, say it does not send the right message.
Two Indian Air Force pilots die after a Jaguar fighter jet crashes in Rajasthan. This is the third Jaguar crash in last 3 months.
A massive bridge collapse in Gujarat leaves over 10 people killed. Serious questions raised after the bridge over the Mahisagar River in Vadodara district suddenly caved in and led to vehicles plunging into the river. Well, first up this evening, a quick check of the latest in the political action from Karnataka. Is it just media imagination and speculation, or are the power players of Karnataka fueling that? With both Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his Deputy Chief Minister and State Congress President D.K. Shivkumar in New Delhi, the political statements continue to make the headlines. This despite categorical message from the Congress, Vasudha, that there is absolutely no change on the table for now.
Yes, Veera, this is a story that plays out every week. A lot of shadow boxing on there, but also muscle flexing. While Party General Secretary Randeep Surjewala was in Bengaluru, and he reiterated that the visit of the Chief Minister and Deputy CM to Delhi was to meet with the Union government and push Karnataka's demands. D.K. Shivkumar also met Congress Wayanad MP Priyanka Gandhi and said he would seek a meeting with Rahul Gandhi as well as, and this has of course raised speculation over a political discussion. Rahul Gandhi was also in Patna today, but it is not clear as to what is going to happen in Karnataka if Siddaramaiah will continue to be the Chief Minister, which looks to be the case right now, and also with regard to the cabinet reshuffle, if that is on the cards for now or not.
Yes, my Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister have travelled, as I said yesterday, to Delhi in order to raise issues of government of Karnataka and people of Karnataka with government of India. As we are aware, there is a designed discrimination and hatred in BJP and Modi government against people of Karnataka for voting them out. That hatred gets magnified by way of denying us various projects. For example, the Kalsa Bandure project, no permissions are being given. For example, Mekedatu project, it is being detained by government of India. For example, our various demands, declaring various categories in backward tribe categories, various communities, is consistently denied. For example, GST funds are denied to people of Karnataka. It is the duty of Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. D.K. Shivkumar to go there and to place facts on behalf of people of Karnataka before them. Thank you.
Well, the speculation, Vasudha, has gone to the extent of being boring because it's been playing out for many, many years now, the last 2.5 years since the government came into force. But the shadow boxing, as you rightly mentioned, continues. The question really is it just media speculation, or are statements actually fueling it? For at this time, for D.K. Shivkumar to be in Delhi and meeting with the Gandhi family would obviously fuel more questions. But I think the core focus, Vasudha, for the Congress is try to keep the house in order. It's very clear there's going to be no changes. It's very clear there's going to be no cabinet reshuffle either for the moment. But the question of putting a lid on this and keeping everyone happy, that's a tough task before the Congress High Command.
Absolutely, Veer. And also to keep in check all these MLAs and leaders who have been speaking out of turn. A few days ago, we also saw one of the advisors of the Chief Minister say that it's important to either choose welfare or the guarantees or development. And that clearly is a concern for the Congress leadership because Karnataka is extremely important important for the Congress party. This is a state where the Congress party won more than 130 seats, and it was a promising victory. But when it comes to governance and delivery, there is a lot that remains inadequate, and that is something that the leadership is extremely aware of. And to your question, if it's the media fueling this or the leaders, I think it's the leaders. This constant visits to Delhi, these comments that are being made by supporters of each camps, that also lead to speculations if D.K. Shivakumar is pushing his case and if Siddaramaiah is holding on to that chair. And we know that the leadership wants him to remain the chief minister because it doesn't want to ruffle any feathers right now. But clearly, when it comes to political ambitions, who can stop anyone, isn't it?
Right. Right, that's right, Vasudha. Look, it's leader statements, but a very willing media that wants to play it up as well. I believe we can't go across to our colleague Sunil Prabhu, who was, I believe we can now go across to our colleague Sunil Prabhu, who's tracked the Congress very closely for decades. Sunil, on the one hand, the media speculation, but a lot fueled it by some of the political statements. One of the key challenges, and very briefly for the Congress, as you've been pointing out, is to get its Karnataka house in order, at least in terms of the optics categorically.
Well, there was definitely an attempt. I think D.K. Shivakumar was testing the waters, but I think after that exercise, they understand that where the standing is in terms of numbers, where D.K. Shivakumar stands, as well as Mr. Siddaramaiah. It's in that backdrop now that the Congress will have to do that course correction, as we've been talking about. And it's in that context, be it at the grassroots level, be it at the state level, if they aren't able to work unitedly, then it's definitely bad days ahead for the Karnataka Congress. It's definitely something that the High Command will be looking at today in terms of how they can revive and, get people at the grassroots level involved in the governance and take things forward with Mr. Siddaramaiah in the seat, but also giving D.K. Shivakumar his due respect and due regard and working with various other factions of the party.
Due respect, due regard, but no CM seat for D.K. Shivakumar for the moment. How are they going to make sure that he digests that well? That will be the key focus. Thanks very much there, Sunil Prabhu from New Delhi. Now to Indian nurse Nimisha Priya, who's on a death row in Yemen, Vasudha. The date for her execution has been set for the 16th of July. But can there be a last-minute effort that can save her? She was convicted in the murder of her Yemeni husband in 2018, a very complex case. And the top of the judicial system in Sana'a had confirmed her execution.
That's right, Veera. Frantic last-minute efforts are going on to avert the execution. Under the Yemeni law, a convict can avoid death penalty if the victim's family agrees to accept blood money as compensation. And this is something that Nimisha's family, her supporters have been trying to do, backed by a support group to negotiate this route. Her mother, in fact, who works as a house help in Kochi, sold her home to fight this case, but things did fall apart after 2024.
On the one hand, the humanitarian aspect, on the other hand, the diplomatic aspect. The MEA has been in touch with the family and has said it's making whatever efforts it can in the case, Vasudha.
But Veera, there is limited scope for what the MEA can do because we don't have any diplomatic relations with northern part of Yemen, which is controlled by Houthis. Multiple dimensions in this matter. This NDTV report tries to capture some of the aspects of this complex story.
An alleged act of self-defense, leaving an Indian nurse moments away from the noose. The clock has run out on 37-year-old Nimisha Priya, and her desperate family is pleading for a last-minute reprieve. Priya from Kerala's Palakkad district was convicted of murdering a Yemeni man, her business partner, in 2018. Since her conviction, the Indian government has been negotiating for her release. Born to a family of daily wage laborers, Priya moved to Yemen in 2008, hoping for a better life. In 2014, she opened a clinic with Yemeni national Talal Abdu Mehdi. Following months of physical and sexual abuse, Nimisha allegedly injecting him with sedatives during a fight over her passport. However, the dose proved fatal. Last year, Yemen's Supreme Court then upheld her death sentence. A narrow possibility for clemency remains, through the payment of diya or blood money to the victim's family. The Indian government is doing all it can. working with Yemeni officials, offering roughly rupees 8.5 crore. However, talks broke down last year.
After the Supreme Court order from Yemen, the only remaining option to save Nimisha Priya from execution in Yemen is if the family of the deceased, Talal Abdul Mahdi, to accept the blood money under Yemeni law. This is now the sole remedy available.
Set to hang on July 16th, her family, the Ministry of External Affairs and supporters are making a final push, hoping it's not too late. Bureau Report, NDTV.
It's a complex case, Vasudha, which has played out for more than a decade now. Mohammed Ghazali joins us live. Ghazali, time's very limited. July 16th is the date that's been set. What are MEA officials telling you? What can they do at this stage?
See, this is a big test of Indian diplomacy because all these while we didn't have those kind of diplomatic relations with Yemen when basically Nimisha has been detained or arrested in a locality or area of Yemen, which is controlled by the rebel Houthis there, the Houthis rebel. India has been trying to communicate with the government of the day there, the Houthi rebel, the Houthis government, through our mission in Saudi Arabia, through our embassy there. The embassy officials are in touch, and that is why Nimisha was able to get the assistance of a local lawyer there. But giving the blood money and other options have been exhausted. It all depends on the negotiations that how soon the Indian diplomatic mission in Saudi Arabia and the family can convince the family of the victim there to pardon Nimisha Priya, and perhaps that's the only option available with her.
Thank you, Ghazali, for joining us with those details. Clearly, time is running out and all that we can do is hope, but clearly a lesson for India to ensure that we have a comprehensive labour protection law in place. Joining us now is CPM MP from Kerala, John Brittas, who has raised this issue in Parliament several times. Thank you, Mr. Brittas, for speaking to NDTV. You've been raising this issue consistently. Can you take us through the particular concerns that you pointed out and what was the government's response to you?
I have been taking up this matter consistently with the government of India and had met Honorable Minister Mr. Jaishankar and explained to him the whole gamut of issues, including the emotional aspect of it. And he had promised all possible steps and action from the government of India. I recollect that he had written a detailed letter to me on 27th April 2022. In this letter, he had promised me, quote, I assure you that welfare of Indians abroad is of highest priority for Government of India, and Ms. Nimisha Priya's case will continue to receive our full attention. That was the reply, which was very comprehensive, which I received on 27th April 2022. And after that, an action committee was very active. They mobilized some resources, and the committee was headed by none other than Justice Kurian Joseph. And $40,000 were passed on to MEA so that it can be sent to Yemen to facilitate, to have an interlocutor to discuss with the family of the deceased. And we were under the impression that Government of India is taking swift actions. But I was disappointed that to a start question during the last budget session, that is 13th February 2025, the Minister of State, Shri Kirti Vardhan Singh, he replied to me by saying that the matter regarding any consideration towards the release of Nimisha Priya is between the family of the deceased and Nimisha Priya's family. This was when I had to agitate, and I had to caution the government that these two families cannot interact because the Yemeni laws doesn't permit that. And I had pleaded with the government that certain actions should be taken, and I was expecting that Government of India was exploring various formal and informal channels to make sure that she is released.
Sir, as you say that, what do you expect from the MEA at this stage? Some would argue it's a matter between two families in a foreign country. What more should the government have done?
Technically speaking, one can take the alibi that it's between the family of the deceased and family of the accused. That's a very technical preposition. In all those cases where government of India has intervened, it would have been the case. But government of India has the bounden responsibility, duty to explore various channels, and communication need to be set up. In this specific case, I had raised on the floor of the House that since it's believed that that place is under Houthi militia and our own friendly nation Iran has got profound influence in that part, and it was also reported that Iran has offered its good office to help us or facilitate this. So I was suspecting that government of India will go beyond the technicalities and use the good office of many individuals and also friendly nations. That was what was made us to understand. And the action committee had promised as much as amount which would be needed for blood money to ensure the release of Nimisha Priya. So just to say that it's purely a matter between the deceased family and Nimisha Priya's family is taking a technical position which is not accepted at all. And in many cases where we ensured the release of such people, it was not on a technical parameter. We had to pursue various other measures. So I feel that this should not be the way in which the government of India has to respond. And we have been always promoting us as the Vishwaguru, and these are the areas where we have got sizable Indian diaspora and many individuals have got influence there apart from other nations.
So is Mr. Britas, is there any hope left and what are the learnings for India from this episode, because we have thousands of workers working in Gulf nations?
The unconfirmed reports only. We don't have formal communication from the government of India or from Yemeni authorities or from anybody based at Sana. So the unconfirmed report says that execution is scheduled on 16th of July. That means we have enough time. Government of India needs to quickly put its acts together. Should try to establish some contacts with the Houthi militia or the Yemeni government or whatever may be there. And the good office of other countries also needs to be roped in to see that the life of Nimisha Priya is saved. I have already written to the Honorable Minister and have detailed all the aspects and also referred to the communication we had with the Government of India and also the answer the Minister of State had given on the floor of the House. And I still feel that Government of India will take quick, adequate, appropriate, expeditious measures to ensure the release of Nimisha Priya.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Britas, for joining us on NDTV.
Well, time for that big exclusive. Vasudha, the big newsmaker from Andhra Pradesh, joining us this evening.
Absolutely, Veera. Andhra Pradesh is all set to host Mega PTM 2.0 tomorrow, covering over 60,000 schools and colleges. Now, this initiative aims to bring together over 2 crore participants, including parents, students, teachers, and also public representatives. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child, but probably takes the entire state to ensure education reaches all. To talk more about this, we have a special guest with us, Andhra Minister and TDP leader Nara Lokesh. Thank you, Mr. Lokesh, for your time. You have a unique portfolio, sir, of the job. You're the person responsible for creating jobs. You're also in charge of IT, electronics, and also education. How are you modifying education in the state of Andhra Pradesh to make the youngsters of the state more job ready? In that context, is Mega PTM important?
First off, thanks for having me. And yes, I have unique distinction of handling both Bharat and India. So my education portfolio is about Bharat and my IT electronics portfolio is about India. So it's not only about educating our youngsters, but it's also about providing jobs for me. So in that context, we believe that we have to look at revamping our entire curriculum, KG to PG, to make it ready, skills ready, future ready in that sense. So with Quantum Valley now coming up here in Amravati and skills like AI, machine learning also taking off. So I think there's a lot of focus that's now required. If you look at it under Mr. Naidu's leadership, the Telugu community at large led the IT revolution in that sense, and we were great beneficiaries of that. Now we need to get the Telugus ready for the next revolution, both in AI, ML, and in quantum computing.
Right. Mr. Lokesh, Taliki Vandanam scheme is all about respect for your mother, and I think that's my favorite part of your approach, because you've been speaking a lot about gender stereotypes and how education should remove these stereotypes. And, in fact, at a recent party event, you also spoke about the need to stop using phrases such as, you're wearing bangles or stop crying like a girl. Can you tell us a little bit about this approach and how are you attempting to bring this change, at least in the Andhra society?
It all started with my Padyatra, where I realized that, the kind of stereotyping that happens. And this actually starts at primary education. So, when I became the minister, I looked at the first and second grade textbooks. And if you look at the work, the household chores, which are picturized there, it's all done by women. Why should it be that way? I got married young, Brahmi and I lived in the US, and we would share our work. It would be 50-50. So I said, first let's change it in primary education. We should remove the stereotype there. So we started there, and then we are vocally talking about, respecting mothers, respecting women. And as you rightly said, removing these colloquial words, wearing bangles, don't cry like a girl, don't behave like a girl, are you wearing a sari? These are colloquial words that are used, and this is what we want to put a full stop to. And under the Taliki Vandanam, it's not just about a DBT scheme to manage, demographic management, but it's actually also about respecting mothers, respecting women. So this mega parent-teacher meeting that's going to be held tomorrow is all about that. It's about respecting our mothers and taking their blessing. And this is what we want to do and drive it.
It's a very important message that you're sending across. Before I get to serious questions, let me quickly take you back to being a schoolboy. Were you ever worried about PTM meetings when your father would meet the teachers, or were you more worried about your father or your mother then?
Well, I am my mother's son. My father was never there at home. So it was my mother who took care of me. I am who I am today because of my mother. And she would attend the parent-teacher meeting, and I was a very naughty child. So when I went home after that, I would get a dress down from her.
Well, naughty child Lokesh was. As these events unfold, and I'm getting serious now, some would argue this is about building your image politically as well. You are the categorical number 2 in the TDP. What's your power equation with the Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan? Do you see him as a challenger to the Telugu crown in the future? Are you eager for a categorical appointment as working president of the TDP or as a second Deputy CM perhaps someday?
I'm the faithful Karyakarta of Telugu Desam Party, and I'm here working under the leadership of Mr. Nadu. So any task given to us by him, we all execute on it. And Pawan Kalyan ji and we are more cooperating with each other, coordinating with each other to strengthen our state, because we've lost a lot in the last 5 years. Our state went back by 30 years. So we are actually working together as a team to strengthen our state. So it's about Telugu Desam Party, Jansena Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party coming together in Andhra Pradesh and making Andhra Pradesh stronger than ever.
When you say that, one of your biggest leverage points now is the fact that you are an NDA ally at the center. You're competing industrial-wise in terms of states like Tamil Nadu and Karnataka with Bengaluru and Chennai. Your father built Hyderabad at one time as a competitor. What do you feel is the key challenge? Is there a challenge you'd like to throw to the IT ministers of, let's say, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu? And do you believe you've got your due from the NDA?
To be fair, Andhra Pradesh has the late mover advantage in that sense, in the IT sector. We have something that the other states doesn't have, which is a brand called CBN. Mr. Naidu is a brand to reckon with, and his brand image opens up doors and opportunities for us. And as ministers, our job is to deliver on the speed of doing business. And we're doing that. If you look at the way we've landed IT companies in Visakhapatnam in the last 1 year alone, I think it's something to speak about. I know we are giving land to the top 100 IT companies at 99 paise in toto, not per acre, in toto. And that's going to be our unique competitive advantage. We are hungry, we have a drive, we have an amazing brand called CBN, and this is opening doors for us, and we are going to compete. I think a healthy competition is very good for India and to attract investments.
Right. Lokesh, from Andhra politics to national politics, TDP is the most important ally of the BJP today with 16 MPs. Mr. Lokesh, are you aligned with the centre's national education policy, specifically because the language issue has become a challenge in states like Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu?
No, if you look at it, Telugudesam Party entered NDA unconditionally, and our support today to the Honorable Prime Minister is unconditional. And the single reason for that is we believe in the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister. He is the right leader, right time leading the country forward. And we believe that the policies that are framed by the federal government are in the interest of the states. You know, when I met the Honorable Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhanji, he spoke about the importance of mother tongue. He never spoke about the imposition of Hindi. He spoke about the importance of mother tongue. In fact, he went on to say that, Mr. Naidu and the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, were educated in their mother tongue, and look at the amount of creativity they had. See, as a Telugudesam party, we believe that, our citizens should learn not 3, 4, 5 languages. If you look at it today, job opportunities are across the world. We are here teaching in nurses, Japanese, German. The opportunities opening across sectors where our citizens can go and, play a vital role. So I think it's important that we learn more languages. And in that, yes, Hindi is our language, our national language, and we should learn it. So we have no qualms in accepting that.
So you don't think that the 3-language policy is a threat to Telugu, because your party was also founded on the principle of Telugu Atma Gauravam. You don't think that Hindi is a threat, or the 3-language policy is a threat to the existence of Telugu?
Now, how is Hindi a threat to Telugu? I mean, why are we playing languages against each other? I think that's very unfair. I mean, whoever is doing that is merely doing that for political gains. My conversation with the Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhanji, is all about our mother tongue and the importance of imparting education in our mother tongue. So why is this war over languages? I think as a nation, our kids should learn multiple languages, and I think it brings us all together.
Right.
Well, it's a very important point that you're making, but it's a nuanced argument in politics, and this is perhaps one of our final questions to you. Your father was the big consensus builder in the late 90s in the NDA government then. He's somebody, as TDP, as a party, you have friends and relationships across the political aisle. What would be the crucial message to you in such polarizing times in terms of whether it is language debate or whether it is opposition versus government, whether it is a message on the language issue to, let's say, an MK Stalin in Chennai or an Uddhav Thackeray in Mumbai, or to your own government in New Delhi? How do we bridge this divide?
I think greater conversations need to happen, and we should look at building our nation and taking it forward rather than pitting languages against each other. I think we should not be doing that. It's important to stand by the leadership that's taking the nation forward. And really, I mean, if you look at India's credibility today globally, it's at the highest ever. And that's because of the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister. And we should support. And if there's anything that we believe needs to be discussed, let's sit around the table, let's discuss it, and let's resolve it. And to be very fair, in the NDA, that's how issues are getting resolved. There will be issues, but we'll sit across the table, have a conversations, and resolve issues and come to a consensus which is in the right direction of building our nation.
Right. Mr. Lokesh, last question to you. And coming back to the mega PTM, I know that you're also a hands-on parent, you're a hands-on father. What have been the major learnings for you, looking at Devansh, ensuring that his education is also in line with your thoughts? What have been your learnings as a father?
I think, mother and father play, of course, a very important role in bringing up, the children. And it's very important that we don't stereotype things at home. I think that's fundamentally what I believe in. 2, definitely mother tongue is important, no second thoughts about it. And this is something that we go to great lengths in our own child's case. And 3rd, it's not just about Iron Man, Superman, it can also be about Hanuman, Rama. I think there's great learnings, and that's where all comic books in that sense is what he also enjoys. I think this is very important to preserve our way of life and our rituals in that sense. So, that's been a great learning for me personally.
And how do you think parenting has changed from our times to perhaps now? What do you think is the biggest challenge? You say Iron Man and Superman. I think Instagram and X are also big challenges.
No, I think, if you look at it in the past, families were joint families, and, we would learn a lot. We would serve our elders first, and, we would learn how to respect, socialize, discuss various issues across the table. But today we've become a very nuclear families. Under work pressure, the child is outsourced to Instagram or InShots or various other social media platforms, where today socialization is happening on social media. It's not happening within the family. Whilst we were a joint family, the advantage was that, the parents would take care, or the grandparents would take care of the child. So there's a lot of values that we would actually learn from. Even today we continue to be a joint family, and we believe in the, the power of being a joint family and the importance of a lot of learning from each other. And, as parents, we also request, grandparents to spend a lot of time, because there's a lot of value transfer that actually happens generationally. I think that's something that as a nation we are missing, and it's something for us to really work on.
Absolutely, something really important to reflect upon. Thank you, Mr. Lokesh, for joining us. That was Nara Lokesh, Andhra Pradesh Minister. Just a day ahead of the mega PTM in Andhra, nothing works more than education. We are to propel the country forward, and we wish Andhra Pradesh government and Mr. Lokesh the best for this event.
Thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Well, we'll take a very short break right now, Vasudha, but when we come back, all the action from Bihar. Bihar Bandh ahead of the polls verification versus the Vote Bandi Rao. Rahul Tejaswi Yadav right there on the streets of Bihar.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out.
गोल्ड ग्लास क्लियर ग्लास पार हो या नियर सब कुछ दिखे क्लियर
फिनिस्टा विंडोज ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए
फाइन फाइनर फिनिस्टा
But I'd like to start this off by asking you, Vishnu, what you think about the whole question of India not having stealth fighters right now.
It's a huge
Everyone's
problem.
trying to sell them to us as well.
It's a huge problem, Shiv. Let's face it, in as much as we love the Rafale aircraft and the Indian Air Force is completely vouching for it, perhaps they'd like more than 100 more. The Indian Navy has just gotten into an order for 26 Rafale M aircraft. There is a generation gap between the Rafale and the stealth. There is a good reason why a stealth platform is called a 5th generation aircraft and a Rafale is a 4th or 4.5 generation aircraft, and that is low observability. So in as much as the Rafale has brilliant sensors, both in terms of its radar, its defensive suite, its electronic warfare suite, its towed array decoy system, it is not typically a low observability platform in quite the same manner in which a stealth aircraft is. Its design form is different. And therefore, if Pakistan does have low observable aircraft, which would be the J-35, in fact, the first ones might even start entering service or coming into the PAF ahead of entering service at some time this year, that India is in trouble.
So
Why?
this year? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first could actually start coming in this year. They're really pushing for it. And they've gotten apparently into some agreement with the Chinese to ensure that the funding is done on very loose and terms favorable to Pakistan, as has been in the case in the past. If Pakistan starts acquiring low platforms which are low observable, in other words, stealth platforms, then that's an additional headache for the Indian Air Force, because tracking stealth aircraft requires a certain specialization. It's much more difficult. The time that you have to actually engage a potential stealth target is reduced greatly, and therefore, it's a problem.
Welcome back. A bit of breaking news coming in right now from the Election Commission, Vasudha, about that special intensive revision exercise that we're about to debate with a special panel.
Absolutely, Veera. As opposition parties continue to raise suspicions and concerns over the ongoing SIR process in poll-bound Bihar, the Election Commission has now come out with an important statement saying that it has already completed almost 58% of the special intensive revision of electoral rolls, the exercise that's going on in Bihar ahead of polls. In fact, it has said that of the 7.9 crore forms, the enumeration forms that were printed, 98% have already been distributed. All of this has happened in the last 15 days. In fact, 16 days to go for the exercise. The Election Commission is saying that 42% of the exercise is already over. In some ways, it is saying that the block level agents of the parties, of all parties, are participating in this exercise, and in some ways indicating that it's only the opposition that is making noise. In fact, just the leaders who are making noise here, while their own block level agents are participating in this exercise. But before that, let's also tell our viewers what happened today. Holding a copy of the Constitution in hand, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, accompanied by RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav and other allies of the India bloc, held a protest march in Patna today. And this is against the ongoing special intensive revision of electoral rolls in Bihar. They have alleged that the exercise is aimed at removing marginalized people from electoral rolls ahead of the polls. In fact, Rahul Gandhi also said that this process is not just an attempt to steal the vote of the people of Bihar, but also their future.
That's right. It's a sharp political exchange. Very, very serious questions being raised by the opposition there, Vasudha. The Election Commission, though, has issued multiple clarifications claiming that the opposition is spreading lies. It has also met delegations from opposition parties, citing the Constitution, is arguing that the SIR as a routine process that is necessary to clean up electoral rolls by weeding out duplication and the infiltrators. That's the Election Commission's argument. While legally backed by the RPA and Article 324 of the Constitution, the process, remember, has sparked a very sharp political and civil society concerns, especially given the polarized atmosphere because of the timing and the proposed process, Vasudha.
Absolutely, Veera. The Election Commission's SIR aims to clean up voter rolls in Bihar, and this is before the polls, and this is being done by verifying citizenship through birth and parental documents, and that is what has brought the process to the spotlight, with the opposition questioning the timing of it and also the process. But it is the same opposition that had also raised questions claiming that the electoral rolls are not accurate. Now, a Supreme Court hearing on the 10th of July will examine whether the drive violates constitutional rights or not. So if the process is underway, why cast doubts? Or are there some serious concerns that need to be raised? That's what we try and decode tonight. Joining us now is Charan Singh Sapra, spokesperson of the Congress Party. We have Dr. Mohammad Amin, who is former Joint Director and Chief Protocol Officer, Election Commission of India. We have RP Singh, BJP spokesperson, and we have Professor Sajjan Kumar, who's a political analyst. Before I bring in the guests, let's take a look at some reactions.
जिन कंस्टिट्यूएंसीज में वोटर बढ़े वहां पर बीजेपी जीती। सारे के सारे वोट जो नए वोट आए वो सारे के सारे बीजेपी को गए। आज तक महाराष्ट्र की वोटर लिस्ट हमें नहीं मिली। वीडियोग्राफी का कानून बदल दिया क्योंकि वो सच्चाई छुपाना चाहते हैं। महाराष्ट्र का चुनाव चोरी किया गया था और जैसे महाराष्ट्र का चुनाव चोरी किया गया था वैसे ही बिहार का चुनाव चोरी करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। इलेक्शन कमिश्नर बीजेपी और आरएसएस जैसे बात कर रहे हैं, वो भूल गए हैं कि वो किसी राजनीतिक पार्टी के नहीं है।
पूरे बिहार के लोगों में नाराजगी है इलेक्शन कमीशन को लेके। खास तौर पे इलेक्शन कमीशन जो है अब एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का प्रकोष्ठ बन करके रह गया है। उसके इशारे पे ही सारा फैसला निर्णय जो है लिया जाता है। तो कोई भी सवाल का जवाब जो है इलेक्शन कमीशन ने हम लोगों को दिया नहीं, ना एक बार भी आके प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके सभी चीज़ों को जो है स्पष्ट किया। 2 गुजरात के लोग तय करेंगे कौन बिहारी वोटर वोट देगा कौन नहीं देगा।
सच्चाई नहीं है क्या कि बहुत बार चाहे वो रोहिंग्या हो कोई और हो, वो गलत तरीके से वोटर लिस्ट में अपना नाम घुसवा लेते हैं। तो अगर ईमानदारी से काम हो रहा है तो परेशानी क्या है आपको? संकेत यही है कि जो भी गलत तरीके से वोटर बन गया उसके कंधों पर ये अपनी सियासत करना चाहते हैं. This whole approach of the opposition party gives rise to serious questions. You file cases in Supreme Court, MPs filed, your supporters filed. You get the case mentioned. I understand tomorrow the case is going to be heard, and today you are on the streets. Is it some kind of a pressure being sought to be created?
RP Singh, spokesperson BJP, I'd like to ask you the first question. Mr. Singh, serious charges have been raised by the opposition. They're questioning not just the timing but also the process. They're saying that Bihar is a document-scarce state. Why are you starting the process from Bihar? And it also has a lot of migration. So many questions there. How are you looking at this?
Well, Vasudha, before I tell you about the ground, about the situation, how we're looking at it, let me just show you a video of Mr. Rahul Gandhi in Bihar. Okay?
स्कूल जाते हैं जी. कैसा स्कूल है? पब्लिक प्राइवेट स्कूल है, सरकारी है. सरकारी है. उसमें पढ़ाई अच्छी होती है.
मतलब अब तो इंटर में चले, सरकारी में पहले से बहुत अच्छी बेहतर है.
हाँ.
पहले से बेहतर है.
क्या क्या सीखते हैं उसमें?
उसमें कंप्यूटर भी है लोगों के लिए और कंप्यूटर है और उसको उनको किताब भी मिलता है और साइकिल का पैसा मिलता है.
अंग्रेजी.
हाँ.
अंग्रेजी सीखते हैं.
अंग्रेजी भी पढ़ाया जाता है.
So you got the point. This is the real reason of all this hulla gulla, all this narrative being built around the voter list and the checking of the voter list. This is the reason. So, sorry, I'm so sorry. This is bothering.
Mr. Sapra, just respond to the accusation being made that this is purely a political allegation, primarily not one based on substantive facts.
Can I have another 2 seconds, please? Can I have another 2 seconds? Requested for 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
So see, over a period of years, can I speak?
Let Mr. Singh just finish, please. Sorry, Mr. Sapra. Mr. Singh just wants a point. Let him just finish. Go ahead.
So, problem is that any politician who understands little bit of ground reality, he will understand the pulse. He need to just go and touch, and he will understand the pulse of the ground reality. And then Mr. Rahul Gandhi, although being 55 years of age, he understands ground reality quite well. And then I just showed you what is the ground reality. So what to do? They know they are going to lose the election.
Mr.
What
Sapra.
to do? So
Hello. See, we are over a period of years, election after election, we have been watching that election commission has not been a neutral umpire. That is the apprehension nowadays, not among the political parties, but also among the people or the voters of India also. So when election commission looks biased, when they look compromised, and they are trying to conduct, see, he's talking in between. This will not work.
Yeah, carry on.
See, election commission is trying to do a exercise, the SIR exercise. It takes time. In 2003, they took 1 year. How can they complete an exercise which takes nearly 1 year in just 25 days?
It took 31 days that time
has been conducting meetings from January to June, and in the last 6 months, they have not spoken with the stakeholders about this SIR. They have never spoken.
Even the election commission can't hear if we speak over each other. So let Mr. Sapra finish, Mr. Singh. Let Mr. Sapra finish, you will get your chance back.
Okay, he's saying that the last time the exercise was also done in 31 days. Mr. Sapra, respond to that. After that, I go to Mr. Singh again. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. The SIR exercise takes time, and why election commission is doing this in haste? They have been taking meeting from January to June with all the stakeholders in Bihar. They never discussed about SIR. They released on 30th May, they released a 21-point program. They never mentioned about the SIR. Suddenly they came out with this SIR. This shows that there is a modus operandi to, do a big theft. To steal the votes and to help the Bharatiya Janata Party. Basically, what is going to happen, the kind of documents they are demanding, who will get affected? The marginalized section will get affected, the poor will get affected, and the migrants will get affected. More than 2 crore, nearly 2.9 crore people will get affected. There will be a disenfranchisement. there's going to be a massive disenfranchisement, यानी वोट की चोरी होने वाली है, and we are not going to allow this theft of vote by election commission in order to help Bharatiya Janata Party. We have seen what they have done in Maharashtra.
Okay,
they have
Mr.
done
Singh,
nearly a
vote ki
similar
chori
thing
ho
in
rahi hai.
Maharashtra,
This
for
is
which
vote bandi,
Rahul Gandhi
stealing
ji
of
and
votes. How do you
Congress
respond
Party
to
has
that,
been
sir?
objecting.
Yeah, Mr. Singh.
Well, I have to show you another video, and probably that will answer my question again. When their leader Ghulam Mir in Jharkhand said, need be, we will give the free cylinder or the subsidized cylinder to even infiltrators. हम घुसपैठियों को भी सिलेंडर देंगे. Actually, their target is the घुसपैठिया or the infiltrators. And this
Let me
is
just tell
on
you
record.
what Mr. Sapra has asked a very specific question. He said there was no mention of the SIR exercise, just a few months ago. Why was this exercise done without consulting parties is what he's asking.
Oh, every party was called. It was discussed in the party meeting, but in the election commission meeting with the parties. But they don't want to acknowledge it now. One. Secondly, last time in Karnataka, 2023, more than 22 lakh votes were deleted as per the exercise. So they welcomed it. They clapped and they said, very good, excellent, because they were in opposition that time. And also, even in Hyderabad, more than 5.5 lakh voters, almost 5.4 lakh voters were deleted. Mr. Oisi also welcomed and still won the election. So it is as per the
Okay, let's get a
suitability.
quick response from Mr. Sapra before I go to Dr. Mohammad Amin. Respond to that allegations being made, Mr. Sapra.
No,
and I'll go to Dr. Amin next.
It's very clear that from January to June, the election commission was talking to the stakeholders. They had several meetings. They have not discussed SIR in 6 months. And suddenly they have got this. This is very clear. Now this election commission wants to distort the democracy. They want to damage democracy. And election commission should be there to, safeguard the constitutional values and the constitution. They are not here to serve Bharatiya Janata Party. In last so many years, we have been watching, especially in Maharashtra election, in Haryana election, that whatever the complaints of opposition parties is, the election commission is not ready to answer. When they are not able to answer, and if they are curtailing their rules every day, like not giving the videos, like they are not ready to give the digital voter list to Congress, which is demanding, then what is the election commission for? Are they only to serve Bharatiya Janata Party and Narendra Modi?
Mr. Amin, this whole criticism that videography, the videos that Rahul Gandhi demanded has not been given. In fact, today I was listening to his Patna speech where he said that laws have been changed because votes have to be stolen. How do you see this process that's happening? Can the EC do something more to build confidence, sir?
I think just going to tell you about the election commission process. This is given by the constitution right to the election commission for the under Article 326 for the voters, right? So that's why the election commission is doing this process, and this is the usual process. And in case of when the Congress was in the power, when the EVM was started, so this pilot project was started from Kerala. So that was the time when the Kerala has the election. That's why this was started from there. That is the history. On record everything. And this time, this is started SIR process from Bihar. Why? Before that, you see, he was discussing about Mr. Sabra that Maharashtra, Haryana and Delhi, they have the objections. All the parties have the objection that we have deleted the votes and we have the induct the so many lakhs of the votes inside the voter list for every constituency. This was the allegation. This time, election commission is very careful and we listen. We have to learn lessons from past elections. So that's why this time is the voting state. This Bihar and West Bengal. So that's why they are very careful. That's why they have launched SIR. You forget about that, how we can do it. This is the process of the Election Commission of India. We are doing the election and every year, and you are the part of that. Your LOP, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is also the part that he has been from the Raebareli and from the south. So what is that? All the Tejaswi and Akhilesh and everyone is the part of the election. So that's why they get the certificate,
So you're making a very
and they elected in the party. Listen,
No,
listen,
I'll get to you, Mr. Sapra. Dr. Amin, you've made a strong
Your
point. Let me just get Professor Sajjan Kumar as well into this. Sajjan Kumar, there are two aspects to this. When political parties, opposition parties raise questions over the system, one is to make sure that the system becomes more transparent. The other is that the flip side of it is that when it goes too much, it could result in a situation where the question of credibility of the system itself comes at stake. How do you see this playing out in Bihar?
They can dispute with the BLO.
See, I mean, what you are asking is basically about two aspects. One, whether the exercise is desirable. The answer is yes. The second aspect pertains to the question of its feasibility. Now, certainly on feasibility, we can see the ground scenario of Bihar. There can be some sort of inconvenience, particularly in a state which is still 89% rural. And therefore, if Aadhaar and a voter card is not sufficient and you have to bring certain other documents, it may lead to certain inconvenience. So that is one part. But just because it may create a deal of inconvenience doesn't mean that you start attributing intentions on election commission and then you link it to the ruling dispensation. This is one. Why? Because if you see in Bihar, the prime opposition party, that is RJD, it still is organizationally capable of mobilizing the support from every panchayat, almost every village. Okay. So therefore, if the fear is that this exercise, which is creating some sort of inconvenience because of the kind of documents that is being required, then certainly they are there to raise the issue, pinpoint who are the ones who are losing out, who are not being part of the revised exercise, and therefore there is no ground to attribute intention to something which may be causing some sort of inconvenience. Okay. So that is why I think it is extremely desirable. On feasibility front, I do understand there are some inconveniences, but then attributing intention is something which has to be seen in the context of the capability of the RJD, which is quite capable of supervising
but
their
Sajjan,
support.
Let me go to Mr. Sapra. A lot of this inconvenience that you talk about could also be fear because there have been, steps such as NRC in the past. So there is a clear understanding among certain sections of people that there could be something like this. Mr. Sapra, when the Election Commission says that 58% of the exercise is already over and that 98% of the enumeration forms have been distributed, it means your own party's BLAs are also working on ground. Is there a possibility that the Congress party is also raising this issue because it wants to weaponize it?
No, not that way. See what I'm trying to say, our BLAs are also informing us that there's a lot of problem. Like Mr. Sajjan Kumar now said, there might be little inconvenience. It's not about little inconvenience. It is a lot of inconvenience. For example, let me remind you that Election Commission has not included Aadhaar card into the 11 proofs which they have said. But to get a domicile certificate, Aadhaar card is mandatory. Now to get a domicile, Aadhaar is mandatory. But Aadhaar is not applied in SIR. So this is a joke. And this is how things are. The people are not the poor people, the marginalized people. And also let the Election Commission say there are more than 2 crore people who are the migrants, who are living out of Bihar. They are in various other states. How are they going to? They are not going to sit online. They are the labor class people. They are illiterate people. They are not going to sit online in various states and fill their forms. So who is there to help those 2 crore voters? So there is an apprehension that more than 2 crore voters will get disenfranchised. And this is not the job of Election Commission. Election Commission is there to enroll more number of voters. You are not there to remove a big chunk of voters who are genuinely living in Bihar, who are genuinely the residents of Bihar.
I'm running short on time, sir. Mr. R.P. Singh, the final question. Till the opposition parties are convinced and there has to be consensus, the question of the process will remain one that daunts and clouds over this election.
Well, they will never convince because they don't have a narrative on ground to go and fetch vote or to seek vote. The only narrative they're trying to build is trying to create a noise level on election commission. They made it earlier in Maharashtra.
You please
now this time,
how are you going to get
last
the
time they
voters
made
registered?
lawyers when Maharashtra election happened.
How are the migrants are going to be
election
registered?
commission has done a fraud. Now,
Please
since
talk to
election
the
commission is
point.
checking the vote list, even now they are getting the same noise. But the real story is that they want to depend on the voters.
How
of the
you will enroll
Indians and
maximum number
Bangladeshis.
of
Here it is.
migrants? More than 2 crore migrants are there. And who are you going to put in their place?
Okay, we've seen a lot of videos
It's
today. Thank
not
you, all
about
of you.
whatever you are showing. It's not
Yes,
about
Mr.
these
Sapra,
videos.
point taken, but
It
this is of
about the
course an
actual
ongoing
questions
issue and
which
we'll
are
get a
there
lot
at
of
the
more
ground
days
level.
to discuss this. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us on this broadcast. Veera, voter inclusion, not exclusion, must be the priority, and legal legitimacy alone cannot justify a process that seems to be alienating, but also, like the questions we asked, this process cannot be weaponized by political parties, our institutions being maligned. That also remains to be seen.
That's right, several questions there, but transparency and credibility extremely, extremely important as far as the electoral process is concerned. Several questions repeatedly being raised there. We'll keep a close watch on that, but that's all we have time for on the Southern View. News and updates continue right here on NDTV.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
फिनिस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Find Finer Finesta.
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony, about pain and suffering, about joy and much more. Some say there's no one better to tell these stories. So here I am. Join me, Boria Majumdar, on India's #1 news network.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Now the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
And Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I'm bringing that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years. I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti, also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
India's IT capital is always bustling, a city full of startups, stories and surprises. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
बदलाव की इच्छा रखने वाले लोग, उनको ये तय करना है कि वो जनसुराज जैसे नए विकल्प को चुनते हैं कि फिर पिटे पिटाए अपनी पुरानी व्यवस्था में जाना चाहते हैं।
मैं चिराग पासवान पूरी तरीके से बिहार विधानसभा का चुनाव लड़ने के लिए तैयार हूँ और तत्पर।
तेजस्वी जी मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं, हमारी पूरी सपोर्ट है उनको। हम किंग मेकर की भूमिका में
अंदर एक
MLA संजय गायकवाड साहेब, तुम्हाला काय मिळतंय गरीब आदमीला थप्पड मारून? त्या कॅन्टीन स्टाफच्या गुन्हा काय होता? तुम्ही त्याला मारलं कारण तो तुमच्यापेक्षा कमजोर होता, एकटा होता आणि गरीब होता. पान गायकवाड साहेब, एक विचार करा. तुम्हाला कडी हिम्मत आलीये का एक दोन्ही पैसेवाला ताकददार आदमीला थप्पड मारायची? काय एकाही इंडस्ट्रियलिस्टला, काय एकाही बिल्डरला, काय एकाही नेताला? Because we know that's never going to happen. Because while the three Senas of Maharashtra fight among themselves over who is the true custodian of Marathi pride, we have images like the ones you just saw of an MLA of the ruling party of Maharashtra slapping a canteen staffer. Well, what is common among the Senas of Maharashtra? Two things are now painfully clear. One, that all three Senas are unapologetically violent, and two, that their violence is always reserved for the weak, the poor, the voiceless, the defenseless. Today, MLA Sanjay Gaikwad, a man from Maharashtra's ruling alliance, has grabbed national headlines, broken and exposed here on NDTV, not for help a citizen, but for proving what a petty thug he actually is. His proud claim that this is Sena style and I will do it again shows how comfortably violence sits in the Sena DNA. And I say this openly and publicly. And now Maharashtra's citizens are wide awake to the truth after 2 weeks of NDTV reportage. That these so-called strongmen who pretend to fight for the common man and woman spend their time slapping waiters, abusing shopkeepers, threatening traders. Ask yourself, have you ever seen this MLA, Gaikwad, or people like him and his ilk slap someone powerful? Would they dare hit a corporate boss, a film producer, a Bollywood star, a party funder? The answer, of course, is never. The answer is a simple no, because they don't have any spine. They can only pray and breathe dabangs against the powerless. This fake dabang image that this shameless MLA of the ruling party of Maharashtra has displayed is reserved for trampling on the defenseless. All three Senas, let me repeat that, all three Senas, the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, the Shinde Sena, and the Uddhav Sena now stand, in my view, completely exposed with the actions of their members in just the last few days. Not as champions of the people, but as political bullies who choose soft targets. Bullies who perform for their echo chambers, but cower before real power. And Maharashtra will remember. It will remember the slap. It will remember the lack of action. It will remember the placeholder bites. It will remember the punch. It will remember the kick. It will remember the vandalism at toll booths. It will remember the silence of the so-called strong. And it will remember that every time these men raised their hands, it was never in defense, only in dominance, over the underprivileged, over the poor, those who stand with these politicians, and I say this without any hesitation, those who stand with these politicians are an army of cowards, a Kayar Sena.
Another VIP thug, caught doing what they do and think can get away. A ruling party MLA, Sanjay Gaikwad, caught on camera slapping, punching and kicking a server at the Amdar Nivas, all allegedly over being served stale dal. This is not an isolated incident, but another in the long list of shameful behavior by political leaders of all colors and hue. There was the MNS worker beating shopkeeper in Thane, UBT MP slapping a shopkeeper, MNS leader's son drunk and naked abusing a woman, and the MNS workers breaking a toll plaza. Now, this MLA, in arrogance of power, beating a worker at canteen. And just like other VIP thugs, he brags and remains remorseless.
मैं विधायक भी हूँ और मैं योद्धा भी हूँ.
जब सब भाषा में समझाने के बाद में कोई समझता नहीं है तो बाला साहब ठाकरे जी ने हमको भाषा सिखाई भी है, जिसका इस्तेमाल मैंने किया है। मुझे कोई मलाल नहीं है, मुझे कोई ये विषय में ऐसा महसूस नहीं होता है कि मैंने कोई गलत किया है।
Leaders from the opposition have strongly condemned this incident, urging the government to act against its own MLA.
इसके ऊपर एक्शन होना चाहिए। ऐसे गरीबों को मारने का अधिकार नहीं है किसी को। सरकार ने एक्शन लेना चाहिए। कानून हाथ में किसी को लेने का अधिकार नहीं है। कानून सबके लिए समान होता है।
एथिक्स नाम की कोई चीज़ होती है। एमएलए ने कैसा रहना चाहिए, कैसा बिहेव करना चाहिए। आज जिस तरह से दादागिरी चल रही है, जिस तरह से मार रहे, इस तरह की दादागिरी ये मुख्यमंत्री सहेंगे क्या? अब देखना है मुख्यमंत्री क्या कार्रवाई करे।
Surprisingly, some in the ruling alliance seemed more concerned about the quality of the food than the violence in itself.
आमदार निवास में बहुत ही घटिया दर्जे का खाना दिया गया। बार बार विधायक जी ने उस कैंटीन के ओनर को, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को बार बार बताया, उसके बाद भी शायद उसने अपने रवैये को सुधारा नहीं। तो शायद कभी कभी उसकी वजह से विधायक जी ने जो गुस्सा है, वो गुस्सा ऐसे तरीके से उसने व्यक्त किया होगा, ऐसा मुझे लगता, मुझे पूरी जानकारी नहीं है।
Sustained NDTV campaign has once again forced the top leaders in the government to react.
यातनं सगळ्या आमदारांबद्दल लोकांमध्ये भावना चुकीची जाते। आपण कुठेतरी सत्तेचा गैरवापर करतो किंवा आपण सगळे आमदार म्हणून आपलं कंडक्ट योग्य नाही, अशा प्रकारचं लोकांमध्ये या संदर्भातली भावना जाते। आणि म्हणून निश्चितपणे मला असं वाटतं की अतिशय गंभीर बाब आहे। आपण आणि माननीय अध्यक्ष या दोघांनी याचा कॉग्निझन्स घ्यावा आणि या संदर्भात काय पुढील कारवाई करायची ते आपण करावी।
After the chief minister, it was the deputy chief minister and MLA Gaikwad's boss Eknath Shinde who condemned his behavior.
वॉमिटिंग हो गया और इसलिए उन्होंने गुस्से में आकर वो मारपीट की है, उसका मैं समर्थन नहीं करूंगा। अगर जिधर गलत होता है उसके ऊपर कानूनी कार्रवाई हो सकती है, लेकिन मारपीट करना ये उचित नहीं है।
While there has been no action against this MLA yet, the administration was quick to dispatch an FDA team to investigate the food complaint. Yet another act of a politician, this time a lawmaker, abusing his power at the expense of a common man. The government has condemned the act, of course, but the question remains on whether it will walk the talk and hold its own accountable. With camera person Mahesh Halwai and with inputs from Radhika Ramaswamy and Abhishek Avasthi, this is Anuj Raide reporting for NDTV from Mumbai.
So this shameless MLA thug, whose name is Sanjay Gaikwad of the Shinde Sena, sitting MLA from Buldana in Maharashtra, has punched, kicked, slapped a person in a canteen. No action has been taken against him by his party. No action has been taken against him by the Maharashtra Assembly. No action has been taken against him by the Maharashtra government. And no action has been taken against him by the police. But are there sections and charges that can be slapped on him? Absolutely yes. We consulted some lawyers and I want to list out for you what sections of the Bharat Nyaya Samhita, the penal code, can be slapped on this coward MLA of the Shinde Sena. Number 1, BNS 130, section 130, which is for assault, any act causing fear of criminal force. Then there's BNS 114, which is hurting, bodily pain, disease or infirmity, hurt, that is another section. BNS 115, voluntarily hurt, intentionally causing hurt, which has a penalty of up to 1 year imprisonment or a fine of up to 10,000 rupees or both. Then you've got BNS 128, force, physical power or coercion, move or to stop a person or to hinder them. Then BNS 129, section 129, criminal force, that is force without consent to cause harm or fear. Then